Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from CES in Las Vegas, Nevada, and joining me for this segment we have Dan Ackerman. He's the Editorial Director over at CNET to discuss key trends that we're hearing at CES and what to look forward to in 2023. Dan, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Good to be here.
I love having other media on my show to get a fresh perspective, right, to see it through someone else's eyes. You've been coming to CES since 2004, right?
It's been a long
How
time.
has the show evolved?
That's interesting. This year is was a bit of a mystery for everybody because we took 2 years off. Everyone was virtual for 2 years, and then coming back, will it get bigger like it was every year? Is it going to shrink down? And this feels like about half capacity, but still obviously very big, very packed, lots of stuff happening, but not like the gravy years.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because now we have all these virtual components and we've learned how to do conferences in the virtual world through the pandemic and also have people on the ground. So I'm wondering if that's a trend that's here to stay, because it's interesting, we're talking about the technology that allows us to live virtually, so it kind of goes hand in hand.
That's the thing, people said to themselves, do we really need a big event like this? Can't we all just get on a Zoom meeting or have like a small sort of, maybe get in the metaverse, do something virtual? There's a lot of different ways to do it, so coming to a convention center is not the only way to do things, and I think people are slowly figuring that out, but as you can see, there's still a hunger for that in-person experience.
Right, well, which is interesting because when I went to the center hall, the metaverse area I thought was the most packed. So there definitely is desire to be in the metaverse. What are some of the key trends that you're seeing here?
I'll say that metaverse area is interesting. I think it's packed because they take all these companies and they put them in one very small area to make it seem very dense and compact, but sometimes at these events they take a particular category and they kind of rope it off. So it is very interesting to see that metaverse and gaming stuff in one big area, and that's definitely one of the big things people are talking about this year. A lot of the other big trends going into 2023 are things like generative AI and sustainability and social media fragmentation, which things don't lend themselves that well to an event like this, which is about products you can pick up and hold. Those are more concepts.
Right.
So product-wise, this CES, having come here as long as I have, feels in a way almost very traditional, almost conservative in a sense, because in past years, it's about big TVs and new laptops. This year, it's about big TVs and new laptops, and maybe some self-driving cars.
Yeah, because our space, we're in the EV space here, and those activations are pretty impressive. When you think more holistically for 2023, what are the trends that you're going to be watching?
I think we are definitely looking, non-hardware wise, we're definitely looking at that AI stuff, especially because it's the kind of thing where you can see its evolution month after month over the past 3, 4, 5, 6 months. I think it's something that you very rarely get to see as a member of the public who can use these tools, and all of a sudden it does something different this month that it couldn't do last month. At the same time, it's a little bit like a magic trick. If you look kind of behind the scenes, it's just kind of rearranging information on Google and spitting it out to you in a form that you can submit as like a high school essay question answer. But I think that we're also going to see people figure out whether this whole, you can call it metaverse, AR, VR, it's all kind of different words for the same thing, whether it really is something worth pursuing or whether it's going to peter out like a lot of other trends have, because this is the year that everybody says Apple is going to get into it with a device that you will be able to buy, and that will be, I think, the make or break moment, because up until now it's really been sustained by Facebook and their gigantic investment in the software side of it and the hardware side with that Quest headset that's been around for a couple of years. It's
so interesting that you bring that up, because I think Web3 and Metaverse, they tend to get used interchangeably. We know that happens in the crypto space too, where things get used interchangeably, and a lot of what I'm hearing is content creation and content being created by content creators. And to your point, it almost seems like we're reshuffling the deck a bit here when you're trying to figure out, okay, what these concepts actually are. And I understand the need for content creators to be able to monetize, their assets and so forth. But in the same token, I mean, Google and Apple and Facebook aren't going to let these things just go by. I mean, they're going to make these kinds of investments, so it makes you wonder, is it almost going to be like a 2.0 kind of thing with them?
I think we're already almost in 2.0 because we had the early version of a lot of this stuff, even years ago and over the past year or two, and not a lot of it has really caught on, but a lot of it lacks a clear definition. If you ask somebody what do you mean by metaverse, you'll get 5 different definitions if you talk to 5 different people. The best I've been able to come up with is sort of this concept of being able to interact with each other or with spaces in different ways, whether you are wearing a headset of some kind, whether you're in front of a 3D display you don't need glasses for, whether you're just on your regular laptop or your phone, you're in a conference room with a smart tablet, and all of these experiences coming together, and you can participate in any of those ways. That's kind of the most practical metaverse definition that I've seen.
Right, so when you think about all this technology that we're seeing here, is there anything that like really does excite you? Like this is something new that I've seen this year, or we're finally seeing concepts come to fruition?
This is a year where I think we're seeing the products that people really like, because this really is a consumer product show. The TVs, they're getting bigger and better, yes, but they're actually making some interesting leaps. They're going wireless, they're getting rid of that nest of cables that are behind the TV. We're seeing laptops and computer monitors try things like that, they call it auto-stereoscopic, 3D without glasses, that they tried 10 years ago and the technology was not there yet. You had one generation and it went away. Now I've seen several examples of it this week, and it works better because it uses eye tracking, which they picked up from some VR headsets that use eye tracking. So it's taking technology from one thing, putting it in another, and then the 3D effect works on you because it's tracking your eyes.
Interesting. I could talk to you all day about this, Dan. Appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me at CES. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.